Robinhood. It's a business that's made the news a lot lately, so we thought we'd do a specific Strategy Simplified episode on this so that we can talk about who Robinhood is as a company, how they make money, and what type of business it is. Let's imagine, for example, that you got a case on Robinhood in a case interview and you'd want to understand it. We'll walk you through the process of how to do that. Let me first just give an introduction into Robinhood. So first of all, the Robinhood app was launched in 2015 to a large wait list. Why? Its biggest innovation was that it offered fee-free trading. And it's a discount brokerage. The commission-free trading goes through its website and mobile apps for multiple different types of securities, including stocks, ETFs, options, ADRs, and crypto. Crypto wasn't added in 2015, it was added in 2018. Robinhood has roughly 20 million users, and we are recording this episode just before they are planning to IPO, and so we don't have access to all of their public information that they will file. The numbers could be different when we discover those. Now, how does Robinhood make money? This wasn't widely known, but is more widely known after some of the scandals that happened, or I would just say news stories, maybe not scandals, related to Robinhood in January of 2021. Specifically, Robinhood makes about 50% of its revenue through the payment for order flow process. And this is what became widely disclosed in 2021. There was actually a SEC investigation in 2020 about the fact that they were not disclosing the fact that that was one of the primary ways that they were making money. So one of the names that is tied to Robinhood, Citadel Securities, is a brokerage house that does clearing. So they have two choices when they receive an order. The first choice is that they can pass it onto the market at the same rate, or the second choice is that they can execute it for a spread themselves. So they can, receive the order, wait until a different time to execute the order, and then make money off of that trade. It's one of the ways that Robinhood is then compensated, is from that payment from the order flow. So Robinhood itself doesn't execute the trades. They send the trades through to other organizations such as Citadel Securities. And that 50% of revenue is compensating for the fact that there is no fee to do the transaction. So usually the fee compensates the broker for the time of doing the execution or the process of doing the execution. Without that fee, the broker is making money on the backside and then compensating Robinhood back for that. The second piece is the account interest and Robinhood Gold. So if you put money into your account, Robinhood is able to invest that money and receive a share of interest for that. The Robinhood Gold is an optional membership that is $5 a month at the time of this process that we're talking about here. And it involves extra benefits. It allows some users to trade in different ways, to make larger deposits, and to access professional reports from Morningstar. Robinhood is really targeted at the retail broker. When people say retail brokers, what they mean are people that are doing it for themselves or for a very small number of people, not massive brokers that are doing massive amount of volumes. It's the lay person. It's your uncle and your brother. It's your sister. It's people that are kind of buying a single stock or a couple of stocks and playing around with it a bit. However, with 20 million users, that's a lot of volume. Now, just going back to the process, right? Payments from order flow is how the Robinhood revenue is generated primarily. And then these extra benefits are the secondary way. What is Robinhood looking for when it's developing the growth of its business? They're looking for volume. Robinhood really doesn't control the price significantly of its services. If they take Robinhood Gold up, they could take it from $5 to $6 or from $6 to $10 a month, and that would make a difference, but they'd see some attrition from that, and it still probably wouldn't generate all of the revenues that they're thinking about. They're looking for volume of users and volume of transactions on their websites. One of the things that we know from observing multiple businesses is that if they don't have a lot of control over their pricing, if they don't have a significant negotiating power on the cost side of their business, if they could pay less variable cost for marketing, for example, which in this case is going to be one of the primary costs for Robinhood, then that business is largely a, drumroll, fixed or variable cost business. Take a second to think about it. It's a fixed cost business. Volume-oriented businesses that have very little control over pricing or variable cost are usually volume-oriented businesses, fixed cost businesses. And so I expect that when we see the IPO filings for Robinhood, we'll find exactly that. This is a platform. Their primary focus is on legal, on developing the platform, and on marketing. Marketing would be for them largely, because of the digital nature of their work, a variable cost. But building the platform provides them with scale opportunities to leverage a single fixed cost investment that just has some incremental growth as the population grows. And that incremental growth drives outsized performance on the margin spread that they get from the other sides of their business. Now, a couple stats about Robinhood. In 2020, they generated $682 million in payment for order flow revenue. That was a 514% increase year on year, which just demonstrates the power of what happens when you have a fixed cost business that leverages its platform successfully to drive massive amounts of volume. It also suggests that when people were home for COVID-19, one of the things that they started doing was trade stocks. And the stock market's performance in March of 2020, the crazy moves that the stock market made a lot of people really interested in doing that. In addition, they added $3.4 billion to the balance sheet during the GameStop stock squeeze. So instead of paying that out, they added debt and equity onto the balance sheet to ensure that they had enough liquidity to cover issues like people ramming through volumes of trades that they had not seen before. The company was valued at $20 billion in their most recent pre-IPO valuation, but secondary shares that are trading have valued the company at about $40 billion. So we expect to see a really active interest in the Robinhood IPO, despite some of the conversation that happened around it. If you're interested in starting a business, one of the reasons that we love and recommend these kind of variable cost businesses is that as they grow, they develop barriers to entry for other people to join. They're able to deliver increased numbers of services, increased customer service, and more. And Robinhood certainly has learned a lot about that in the last 12 to 18 months. We're excited to see what Robinhood does in the future. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode to understand more about how Robinhood makes money, where it gets its revenue, and what the company does. Thanks for joining.